All right, guys, welcome to the next episode of Minority Pod with my amazing, beautiful-looking co-host, Mustafa Hawili. People are shredding me because I'm saying it like Mustafa.
What it do?
Mustafa.
The reason why I say it is because the way you say it in your promotional videos. The other host...
bro, you should see how some of the judges when they call me in court, Mr. Hawley. Mr. Hawley.
The other co-host, Khalil Bazi, that's me. And then our one-of-a-kind, very unique guest, Ahmed Harajly.
Thank you, Cal. No applause.
Chill, don't play an applause. Okay, so real quick, if you cannot get in front of if you do not want to get in front of a YouTube video or format, we're available on Spotify, not Apple Podcasts yet. We're still waiting on their approval, and yeah. So let's go ahead and get started with it. So Ahmed Harajly, for the people that don't know you, like people that have no idea who you are, they're like, why is this guy on this podcast? Tell us a little bit about yourself before we go ahead and get to your unique opinions.
Personal traits.
Oh. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me, first of all. Mustafa. And Khalil.
Ahmed.
The way it's supposed to be pronounced. My name's Ahmad Harajly. I'm a lifelong friend of these clowns.
It's funny I'm older than you. I've literally known you longer than you've known me.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
And look, I'm married, beautiful wife, 2 beautiful kids. Alhamdulillah, God has blessed me.
I really think both your kids hate you, but okay.
Not yet, they're too young.
Tell us why people in Dearborn might know you besides your close friends.
People might know me. Could be my sporting background. It could be my very unique opinions on a lot of things.
Oh, you're being modest.
So he's not saying
you're being modest.
This guy is one of the first. Actually, are you the first Arab American to make the U.S. Olympic team for rugby?
Yeah, correct.
First ever to make the U.S. rugby. That's what made headlines over everywhere. What, back in 2014, 15? Tell us how. By the way, we're done with interviews. We're just gonna be a free-flowing podcast. Tell us a little bit about that, and then we'll go from there.
That's fine. Look, I started playing rugby when I was in high school, back when I was 17 years old.
You were one of the first.
I was one of the first. And remember, I tried getting
We played on the same team.
And he played. And I played
with him. Yeah, I hurt myself.
You hurt yourself. Was it your nose or your face?
It was my nose.
I remember. Okay.
And it was a unity team. We were
unified.
What were they called? Oh, the Silverbacks?
Silverbacks.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So I played 2 years on that team.
Very well.
Yeah, I played pretty well. And I ended up playing men's club and making it to a Midwest championship game against Wisconsin.
Okay.
And national recruiters, they didn't recognize me, but they noticed.
Scouting.
They noticed. They noticed. I'm 20 years old. I'm playing pretty well. So I got the call to go to Chula Vista, California, where the Olympic Training Center is located. I had a tryout, 50 players, and I was one selected out of all of them.
Only one?
Yeah, just one out of 50.
Was there an NFL player on that team?
There was Ahmad Green, but he was retired.
Really?
But he was. You remember him?
Yeah, he played for the Packers.
Packers, Texans.
Wow.
He was a horse, but look, one-dimensional.
How old was he at the time?
He was like 36.
Huh. It's fairly young.
That's but for running back, that's old. The first person I called when I made the U.S. national team, by the way, called my dad. And my dad being the man that he is, I said, Baba, I said, شو بك شو في? I said, I'm on the منتخب, the national team. قال لي شو؟ قلت له الرجبي. قال لي لعنديك اخت اللي اخترع اللعب يا اخي.
No congrats, no nothing?
قلت له بارو. My dad, just listen. Let me tell you also, just real quick, once we're younger, and my dad goes to my brother, man, what are you going to be when you grow up? This kind of explains how my dad is.
Yeah.
My brother goes, but I'm going to be a doctor. Just give him the answer he wants to hear, right?
Yeah.
My sister, I'm going to be a lawyer. Good job. You made your dad proud, by the way. And my dad looks at me, and I was, all the high-ranking positions are exhausted. What am I going to become? I said, I'm going to be a sheikh. My dad looked at me and he goes, Wallah, nice. Wallah, look. Wallah, you make good money. And my dad was serious. I was like,
oh, that's great.
So no congrats and nothing. Honestly,
not really.
You didn't care.
Not really.
He didn't care that you were the first.
No, not.
But I get. Are you surprised?
No.
No, and it's not because it's your dad.
I know how my dad is.
Our parents are all man. Dude, our parents are not gonna.
They want what's best for us.
Not even that. Like to them, given where they came from, how they were raised, that's not a big accomplishment for them. The same shit.
Like we're first generation, so like when they came here, they had like more things to worry about.
They were just trying to get on their get off their front foot.
Yeah, like it's not a big deal.
I remember when
when I
went
sports.
When I first got to Dearborn High and I seen all these parents at these games, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, yeah, that's West Side. Yeah.
No, it's second generation, bro. What we're gonna do is what their parents are doing now. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll be better.
Right, but it's just.
But then again, it's nothing against them. It's just a search situation.
No, it's not even a situation. We're just a product of the system. They weren't a product of the system. I promise you, if our parents were born and raised here, they went to school here, they would be at every game.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's that simple.
That's true.
No, really.
That is.
Well, like seriously, East Dearborn, West Dearborn, doesn't matter where you live. Every person that I know whose parent attends some sort of a game or some sort of an event were genuinely like they're a product of the American system.
Because look, when a lawyer says something, he's very convincing. So
because everyone I talk to that's in this area.
I need you.
Chola, you don't.
The area that I grew up in, obviously our neighborhood, the parents were too busy working or something. The rides, getting back. For middle school we were fine because we had the buses, but when Dearborn High canceled their buses, it was a disaster.
Because my mom used to take me, Harajly.
I remember that.
Ahmed.
Big GMC.
And you're talking like 12 other kids. She used to pick them up from Stout because at Stout they cut the busing at one point. I was in 8th grade. Ahmed was in 7th grade. Ahmed was in 6th grade, I believe.
Yeah.
And they cut everything. And my mom, imagine, it literally looked like a work van.
It was a gas guzzler too. It was like 10 miles.
Yeah, it was a Suburban. Bro, she drove a Suburban. It was full. With people standing in the trunk. It was hilarious.
That's good time.
No, yeah. So what did you end up doing? So I remember. Okay, so what ended up doing after rugby? How long did you do it for?
So I played on the national team for 2 years. Played professional in Pro Rugby League, also the MLR, Major League Rugby. For 2 years into that, once I got engaged, I stopped playing. In that setting. Ended up playing for Lebanon in Australia. And,
did you really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
remember that in October 2019. We actually played against France, England. We beat them. Yeah, and then I hurt my shoulder, and then COVID happened.
I think you left because didn't you completely walk away because your wife?
No, I met my wife 2015.
Oh, so you kept playing even more. But
I kept playing, but look, subhanAllah, God's wisdom. Look, you get your foot in the door, and then sometimes God just puts something that's even better.
A doorstop.
Yeah, a doorstop. There you go. And look, honestly, I don't regret anything because look at these two beautiful kids that I have now. It's the best blessing. Whatever
what's really
brought me
funny,
to this position, I'll do it.
I don't think you always said, look at these two beautiful kids I have. And you low key, you didn't intend it, but you pointed at Ali Cass and Amino sitting over there. I love them. You're look at these two beautiful kids that I have. The two grown ass men standing on the
table.
So
cocktail shit.
So chill, bro.
This guy's the worst.
So that's pretty much it. After that, you just gave a call, and now you're working at.
I work in dialysis.
And then you're just chilling, huh?
Have fun in school. I do religious.
He reminds me of Mr. Incredible. This guy was this crazy superhero, right? Now he just sells insurance now.
6'4" guy giving me a shot. So Harajly, so tell us a little bit about your unique opinions. Are you vaccinated?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Absolutely not.
Why?
Why am I not vaccinated? That's a good question. Look, without getting into too much details, but I'll tell you this. When the mandate was announced at my workplace...
Hold up. Before I say anything, you're always against the agenda, okay?
I'm always...
So regardless of what happened, when 2020 happened, you were probably like, all right, this is probably part of a...
Absolutely. I feel like mainstream media in itself, being as manipulative as it is, look, I can just see the lies straight through the screen. Some people just sit there and, oh, wow, I believe everything.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think COVID is a hoax?
I think it's a real, it's not even a thought, it's a fact. It's a real virus.
Mm-hmm. But
where did it originated from? See, this is what I look at. I'm not that person that comes and says, "Oh, it's not a real virus." Just walk out with no masks and whatnot, and not respect that. As a matter of fact, every time I had even a slight cold, I treated it as COVID. Never take a test.
Right. Okay.
But your problem is against the vaccines.
No, it's not. I'm curious.
What
was your opinion on it, on the actual virus?
That it was
because there were so many opinions.
Oh my God!
There were so many leading
crazy opinions.
Yeah, man-made. The Chinese are trying to wage war on us.
Well, I don't know about the Chinese waging war because the lab in Wuhan was. If you look at it, when what was his name? Rand Paul testified with with Dr. Fauci or Fauci, I like to call him. Honestly, and if you would backtrack from the first time they sat together to the last time, Fauci's answers always changed. In the beginning, it's like, no, we'd never fund the Wuhan lab, gain of function research, which is basically research into viruses that are infectious to animals. They would then make them infectious to humans to study the severity of it.
Right.
Rand Paul's like, what? This is nonsense. What are you guys doing?
Right.
And Fauci's like, no, we never funded it. We never did. The NIH never was involved. And then finally went down to specific doctors that were funded.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just tricky ways. The way they ended up funding the Wuhan lab.
Okay, so do you think it was something that was accidental or something that was
absolutely
purposeful?
not. I think there's
no way you really think it was on purpose.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Absolutely.
No, let's find out why. Let's hear it. What do you got? What proof do you have, Mr. Harajly?
Here we go.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. Just hear me out. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm genuinely interested on why you think the way you think.
So the way I think, it doesn't just originate around COVID alone.
Okay.
It goes even.
Hey,
why do I think the way I think? Look, guys.
No, specifically to this topic, not in general.
No. Well, this topic isn't. Here's the thing, though. What people get confused is that my way of perceiving things and gathering information is not just off of a single event. Like just to say, oh, this is what's happening, and all of a sudden, oh, it's a hoax or it's a lie.
No. I know. But what I'm saying is, you just said that it was purposeful.
Here's the thing.
I'm saying, why do you think that?
Okay. So here's the thing. The way I analyze things, is that I know there is a group.
Just say it. I don't know how to say it.
Okay,
you don't like the West.
Look, I know the West for what it is. Okay.
Right.
It's evil. It's corrupt. It has it will do anything.
Every intention
that benefits its own interest. Okay. And it will even target its own people. Okay. I do believe that there is an agenda towards a global government, and what I mean by that is a new here's the word.
New world order. Okay.
An order that's established where everything is controlled.
Interesting. Okay. But why?
Isn't this
well, okay, where does this originate from? See, always, again, when I heard about COVID, I didn't just take it for what it is. Oh, my God. And then I started jumping to conclusions. No, I went back. If we look at it, for example, so you guys understand my perception of it, I look at, for example, Book of Genesis in the Bible.
Okay.
By the way, the Bible speaks a lot of truth.
Yeah.
We're all Muslims, but even the Bible itself, with all respect, speaks a lot of truth. And there was a story of Nimrod, King Nimrod. In Arabic, you ever been called a Namrud?
Yes, of course.
Okay, Namrud is actually a name of
the
Melech.
Yeah,
I'm
aware.
Because of how horrible he was, people referred someone with a bad attitude, oh, you're a Namrud. So his King Nimrod in Babylon. Basically, what happened? See, I want to just get to the main points.
No, you're good, man. We got nothing but time today, man.
He had ambitions to reach God.
Okay.
He wanted to basically dethrone God from the heavens. So he built a tower called the Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
And by building this tower, if you ever look it up, it's a tower.
So his goal was like definitive control?
To take God down from his throne. So they had this perception that God is above the clouds sitting. So, hey, you know what? We're going to take him down.
Yeah.
So they built this tower, and then God, according to the Bible, now this is where the Bible gets tricky. And he strikes the tower out of fear. Now, obviously, as a Muslim, understanding the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not fearful of any human.
Of man, correct.
Yeah. But the Bible says it was through fear. He struck it, and as a consequence, then, he sends all the people into... he basically expanded humanity into many languages and many cultures. So they don't work together as one, again, because they got close to dethroning him, basically.
So it's like a divide and conquer kind of thing.
This is God's way of divide and conquer.
Right.
So now, all of a sudden, you skip all the way ahead, and you take that story for what it is. And it's a true story. And if you look at the Tower of Babel, by the way, it's an unfinished tower that swirls. That's just the whole idea of them building this tower, and it was incomplete. And you look today, for example, world governments, ever since the Bretton Woods Conference, which actually happened after the Second World War, where the world would work under one monetary system, one system of financial means. And every time the world governments, the international community, which they always talk about, which is America, Britain, France, Australia, by the way, it's not even 25% if you look at the world populations. But what happened is, how are we going to bring the whole world to work as one? Right? Okay. They did many things that I just won't explain now. People, hopefully, if they start to look into these things, they'll realize it for what it is. But what they did is they needed a common interest.
Okay.
The first one was terrorism. They said, because every time I came to you and said, Kel, look, I got a problem in my country. But you came to me and said, look, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Deal with it. But when terrorism was involved, now it's like, hey, terrorism's in my land, your land. Hey, it can be anywhere. Let's work together. So they sat on the table.
So they find a common problem.
Common interest. So then
I'm dying to know how this reverts back to COVID.
Absolutely. So then here's the next one. Now they come back and they say, look, climate change. The climate's affected. Look, it's going to involve all of us. We need to work together.
Yeah.
So now they're all sitting on the same table again. And then finally they come together and say, look, a virus. A virus comes in. COVID. Let's all work together. And notice all these governments that are all aligned together in the West, the international community, all had the same policies based off what? The World Health Organization. So they come down, they start cracking down on people. Then you start seeing people question the narrative. This is what I look at. People immediately said, hold on. 1, 2, 3 about COVID. All of a sudden they're taken off on YouTube. All of a sudden they're silenced. And you guys seen this.
Yeah.
Now, what is this called? This is called the Barbara Streisand effect. This is an actual effect that was put forth in 2003 by lawyers. Good job. So Barbara Streisand effect, what it was that they realized the theory that if you silence someone's message, it tends to be spread
better.
Spread a lot more. Right. I mean, maybe up to 100 times more. So if I'm trying to say something about you,
it's outrageous.
Well, yeah, but if there's some truth, so if I come and have something to say about you, and you're a pretty powerful figure, and all of a sudden I'm silenced, people all of a sudden be like, wait, I'm curious to know what he was saying. And all of a sudden, this is called the Streisand effect. You can look it up.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, message just becomes global.
Yeah.
And it's like opening what do they call that?
Pandora's box.
Pandora's box, yeah. Or we used to say the toothpaste out of the tooth.
Well, but like, let me tell you this then. Okay, so let's just, for now, let's
so I established my foundation of how I think.
You establish your foundation.
I
respect it. Now, let me ask you this, okay? So
the Bible's not a conspiracy.
So back to the COVID thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're telling me, if I understood this correctly.
Yeah.
So, well, no, I'm not gonna assume this is what you meant. So I'm gonna ask you another question.
Go ahead.
Okay. So as you know, a lot of countries, because of COVID, their economies crashed. A lot of people died.
Not because of COVID, because of the government's reaction to COVID.
Correct. Well, the effect of it.
Yeah.
The effect of it. So obviously, you know all the consequences of the effect of the virus.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. No, because we dealt with it here. Other countries dealt with it to like a worse standard. Do you think this was something? Let's assume we're going off of your theory of thinking.
Let's go off of my beautiful theory.
Okay,
YouTube degree.
Off of your theory, do you believe this was something of a miscalculation, or they foreseen all this was going to happen?
I say it was foreseen. There was, for example, a video that this is again what I'm gonna mention is not a conspiracy. It's a conspiracy fact, not a theory. And
by the way, have you watched Loose Change?
No, I've never.
You've never watched Loose Change?
Never watched it.
Interesting.
I'd love that.
I think you would absolutely love Loose Change.
It's Michael Moore, right?
No, as somebody private.
The fat guy?
No, Michael Moore did Fahrenheit 9/11. He did in
Fahrenheit 9/11. That's right.
Yeah, the commission report on that was interesting.
Have you watched Capitalism: A True Love Story?
No, I'm not really into.
Michael
I don't
Moore?
know.
Are you a fan of Michael Moore?
I'm just.
In general, Harajly is against the West. If you're so against everything here, why don't you go live somewhere else?
No, absolutely not. Look,
Why?
someone who
appreciate
speaks,
the West.
Let me tell you something.
They established us.
Look,
that's fine.
Look, that's fine. That's fine. Look, someone who speaks against his own father's injustice does not take him out of his family. So me living here, you know what? It's for the better that there's a voice like mine. This is the beauty of freedom of speech.
I understand.
That's the beauty of it.
Well, hey,
roll in your eyes.
What was the first? Never mind. I'm not even going on that.
It's just funny. It's like, listen, man, if somebody's got to make the sacrifice in the West,
I'll do it.
It's going to be this guy.
It's
going to be this guy.
I'm the guy. Now, look, again, COVID's real. I never was tested for it, but I knew I had it.
So
really, so at some point you knew. You know what's funny? At some point I knew I had it too.
I treated everything like COVID. I swear to you. Hey, we played football. Remember, I had a runny nose. I told the guys I'm not playing because look, even Islam pushes for these things.
100%.
It's your duty, even as a Muslim, to be considerate of others. Like I called, like my friend Shukr was coming over. I said, Shuk, look, I'm not feeling too well. Go get a test. Habibi, I'm telling you, treat it as COVID. Go get a test. Shove a PCR up into your brain. Habibi, I'm straight. I'm telling you, treat it as COVID. Everyone get away. This is what kills me. It's people that might be sick are in line within a foot distance getting their PCR test.
Listen, I'm not vaccinated. Okay, I'm not vaccinated. Neither is Hawili. Okay, but like people have told me this a lot of the time. They told me, hey, what if you get your grandmother sick? I live at home with my grandma. What if you get your grandma sick? How bad? What if you're the end? And why can't?
I know it's a pressure campaign based off fear, because this is what if we're gonna live off that. We're gonna live off that for how long? Now listen to me. look, there's a lot of young people, even today, and again, this isn't a conspiracy, that myocarditis, which is inflammation in the heart, became very common ever since these vaccines came out. Why? Because we're using a new form of vaccination. Now, even the prior vaccines, I had my own opinions. If you look at the NIH website, B.S. Hooker did a study on infants that weren't vaccinated from birth up to 5 years. And then children that were from birth up to 5 years. And kids that weren't vaccinated had less illnesses, such as asthma, frequent ear infections.
Like, we're all vaccinated from the baby, and we're all fine.
Absolutely. I'm fully vaccinated.
Why don't you get your kid? Is your kid vaccinated?
Oh, that's private matter. That's a private matter.
Wait, you're fully vaccinated? What do you mean?
Like,
well, I mean, I took the childhood vaccine schedule, but that wasn't my choice.
No, that was like, I'm talking about like the ones you have to take like to go to public schools.
Yeah,
so everyone took those.
I think you needed to.
You had to. Yeah, you had to get like there were like the updated flu shots or something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Do you remember when they used to do the lice tests when we were younger?
Oh, the things they did. But look, man, it's. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, so if you're so against the West do you think the ES is completely evil or they have no good intentions?
Look, there's a famous saying, it's actually a Chinese proverb, look it up. The road to hell is paved through good intentions. When the devil himself tries to throw us on the path of hell, he builds that pathway with good intentions. And reflect on that for a second. The road to hell is paved through good intentions. You will never see the devil. And this whole idea, by the way, it's a whole misconception where they say the devil is just this evil, scary-looking figure. He never was that figure. The devil is the most beautiful thing you could ever see. Not that I've seen him, but he attracts you. Well, to you, it might come down.
So let me ask you this then. So if you just so what was the saying you just said?
The road to hell is paved through good intentions.
Okay, but then how are you able to differ between the road to heaven through good intentions between the road to hell through good intentions?
That's a good one.
Listen, you know what I mean? Because if you're gonna assume a good intention is a road to hell, then how do you separate fact from fiction when it comes to somebody's real intentions?
Well, again, go back, do your homework on it. So if I look at the government now, a government that's guilty. For example, if you look at people like Chelsea Manning, I don't know if people are familiar with him. He exposed the war crimes done by the United States in Iraq. Helicopters just butchering innocent Iraqi civilians,
or guys like Edward Snowden,
Edward Snowden, all right, or Julian Assange, and you see how they treated these people. So what I do is now you're coming to me and telling me that you care about our lives, you care for us, and this is what you want us to do. Hold on, something's not right here. This is the way I look at things. It's not that you come to me and say, Ahmed, look, it's for your own good, it's for your safety. But again, I look back into who you really are. What is your history?
Right.
So when a government comes up that has history of blood on its hands, I mean, look, you can't not forget this. Our government was the only country ever to drop nuclear bombs on people. The Hiroshima was an atomic bomb. Nagasaki, a hydrogen bomb.
Right.
We dropped Agent Orange, a pesticide that just mutilated people in Vietnam. Right? By the way, they're both Democratic parties. Not that I support Republicans, but just got to throw that out there for the liberals.
You're a liberal?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Libertarian, I would say.
Ahmad's more of a libertarian. This guy hates government control. He is as libertarian as they can be.
I'm more so, I feel like, and this is again an opinion, that Islam leans more towards in the West with libertarian
So is all your decisions in life towards Islam, obviously?
100%. Absolutely. The Quran is my foundation. Look, if we look at chapter 16, verse 36.
Everything reverts back to your foundation.
Every messenger that God has ever sent, and by the way, there were hundreds and thousands of messengers, they all said a universal message. They said, believe and obey God and repel the taghut. وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتِ. What is the taghut? Taghut is the system of evil that does exist in this world. And God says, and repel it. Now, does it mean someone like me reads it and says, you know what, if I can't find it, I'm just going to create the taghut and say, you know what, that's him.
Yeah.
No. Go back. Find out the foundation. Read history. Oh, my God, we've committed all these war crimes. Oh, my God, we're the cause of the suffering in Philippines, for example. You know, people don't even know anything about Philippines and the whole Bataan reactor, which I won't get into. But the whole banking infrastructure that it's...
Everything is...
You know what? Let me just add this. How do I know that our country, for example, is not working on the right path? According to Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has declared war against interest. Not only did he forbid it, he declared war.
Okay, so the whole interesting in Islam is I think that was more... This is obviously...
No, go ahead.
So like I heard like don't buy a rental because it causes unnecessary interest, which I don't think it's right. I think like if I don't believe like I think it was meant for something different than what we're using it for. Like,
when he compared interest, when he said repel
was
interest,
for the intention of taking advantage of someone
else.
Okay?
So Allah compares it to charity, which is a bipolar. So Allah says He mentions charity and He mentions interest. Why? Because charity is to give.
Interest takes nothing. To give.
Interest takes and gives nothing. Because you really don't do that. But also, if you want to look at the dangers of interest and how this relates back to the government in the West, I'll explain in a second. But what happens is when you go to, for example, a country like the Philippines, who was told, quick story, was told to build a Bataan nuclear reactor. Look this up under Ferdinand Marcos. By the way, the Philippines never had poverty rates the way it had before that international loan.
Yeah.
I'm going to explain this as quickly and as smoothly as possible. Here comes a third world country, right? You have this economic hitman. The Confessions of the Economic Hitman by John Perkins. Read that book. Just read it. You're a lawyer. You read a lot.
Yeah.
Read. Do you read a lot?
Only motivation.
So look,
Harry Potter.
Well, that's fine. I don't know if you learn much about that. But look.
Harry Potters are awesome.
They're all right. Listen. They go to Ferdinand Marcos. They try to convince him, look, if you build a nuclear reactor in your country, which is now known as the Bataan nuclear reactor, if you build this, your country will become an advanced nation, no longer a third world country, towers all in the main city.
And we're going to give you the money to build this.
So how much does it cost? Oh, it costs $5 billion. Okay, well, we don't have $5 billion because we're living by our means. Oh, don't worry. The International Monetary Fund, which is a collection of centralized banks, they come in, they give them a loan. They give them a loan on an extremely high interest rate, right? So now, by the way, Philippines doesn't have to do nothing. General Electric comes in, International Monetary Fund comes in, they give them the money, they start building, and you're just chilling. So they build this nuclear reactor. It's done, it's complete. Here comes the nuclear inspectors. And the nuclear inspectors say, you can't run this. Because Ferdinand Marcos is gone, by the way. They got the new leader. Oh, man, I forgot her name. But the point is, now it's a female president that came after Marcos. And they told her, the nuclear inspector said, you can't run this. It's a volcanic area, and it's an earthquake zone. You can't operate this.
And you build a nuclear reactor in
that area. General Electric ended up selling it to Westinghouse or whatever company. It was an engineering company. But now comes the IMF on the door to this new president and says, hey, you owe us.
You owe us money for something you're not to even build, right?
Oh, but no. You owe us. Now look at the way the World Bank really works. It's a crime, or it's a criminal organization. It's a gang. They come to the Philippines and they tell the Philippines, now you owe us the money as we agreed, principal plus interest. They say, look, we can't afford the principal. Do you know what this lady does? She goes to Congress. I swear to you, this is on video. She literally tells them, look, we're going to honor our debts. 48% of the Philippines' annual budget was paying the interest alone on the Bataan nuclear reactor loan from the International Monetary Fund. And you wonder why kids were starving? You wonder why drugs were soaring in the Philippines? You wonder why people were starving to death and kids were picking up garbage for $2 a day or a week, actually? This is why. So the International Monetary Fund says, look, you're paying us the interest alone. We want our principal. So the United States government, who's the major shareholder in that loan, will come in and say, look, instead of paying you $20 million for a military base in the Philippines, we're going to take out $1 million out of your loan in principal, but we're going to build it. Your farmers that were selling potatoes, that were building diverse crops, you're going to sell only potatoes for, instead of $10 a bag, you're going to sell it for $1 a bag to Idaho Potato Corporation. And then we'll waive off a couple dollars off your loan.
Yeah, and that's what they do.
And this is what the IMF does. But, okay, going back to when I look at this and I say, wow, this is a country that does not follow God's laws. It does not recognize God's laws. Even in the Bible, interest was forbidden. It was completely forbidden. But then the Jew in the Old Testament justified it to say they could to non-Jews, but to Jews they're not allowed. Well, anyways, I look at that government that follows these means. They say, by the way, the Quran does say this. It says that they claim interest is like business, but Allah says, no. I made business lawful, but made interest haram. So even banks in itself, making money is haram money. It's according to Islamic law. How's this related now? I look at the structure of a government that is working by these means. And I say, look, even the financial aspect of it is exploitation and injustice. On top of that, spending billions on military. We're killing people overseas. Oh, but they're not American. You shouldn't care too much. It's for our democracy. How many times have we heard that? But when I look at all these things, I judge a personality into this government. And then I say, look, you're coming to me and telling me to shut down my business and to take a vaccine? No. And listen. And then they come to me in my work at DeVita and they said, look, by December, you have to take the vaccine or you're fired. You know,
Did you take the, what happened?
I simply told my manager, look, I'm gone. Because why?
You're really gonna quit
because I have kids, and if my kids are gonna live in a world where they don't have a choice, whatever happened to choice? God does exist. God does heal. I've never taken a vaccine in 8-9 years. Alhamdulillah, every time I got sick, I healed. Who healed me? What medicine healed me?
Yeah, but not everyone's built like you.
No, I know. I'm saying I'm young and I'm healthy. I understand. But what I'm trying to say is bring God back into our lives. And I'm not sick. See, I'm getting sick now. I should have took the vaccine for the cough.
This guy, you should have took the booster too.
Yeah, well, and it's not going to stop, by the way.
I know.
And call it, again, a conspiracy prediction, but it's not going to stop. It's going to come right back, another wave and a fourth and fifth. Why? Because there's an agenda. Mm-hmm. The agenda is not about our health.
It's
the
control.
Agenda is about government control. You know what? I don't know how much further I want to go into this.
No, don't go.
We're chilling.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I like it.
I'm just saying.
I want to go towards different topics.
All right, that's fine.
So,
that's fine. I hope I'm not crazy.
So you always bring religion into your foundation.
It's.
And you. So let me ask you this. So the Islam in general, all religions, the basic just of it is like a moral compass.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. So I mean, I'm copying Huili.
It's my line. Let me ask you
this. Let me ask you this. So
I should have got that on the back of the cup.
Why are people in Dearborn so why is that religious crowd so like angry all the time? Why are they so like?
What do you mean by angry?
There's a group of people.
I'm telling you, man. I am so like
these people.
For somebody that was like born, well, not born. I'm sorry, I was born in Lebanon. For somebody that was raised in Dearborn like their whole life, yeah, I was actually born in Lebanon.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah, why?
No, I just never thought that.
Really? That's funny.
Nothing bad.
No, I'm just curious.
No, I'm just.
Yeah, whatever.
So
Where
go ahead,
were you born in America?
Yeah, I'm American.
You're American. Yeah. I've never. Okay, can you define what these angry?
Okay, you don't know these people.
I really don't.
We had a group of. Growing up, we had a band of.
There's still people like this.
Look, we predominantly follow the Jafari school of thought, which is the Shia Islam, the 12-verse Shia Islam.
Correct.
And a lot of these group of guys that were basically religious figures. And when I say
religious figures?
Okay, let me sum this up.
They were very well known that they were a band that's very.
Also, there's people that there's known speakers in the community. These guys are
not even like that. My bad.
Yeah.
I think figures was a little too big of a word to give them. It was just young guys.
These are just people that are just known to be religious, like by the community.
They value Islam.
Okay,
they value Islam.
Okay.
Hey, you look at a picture of them, they never smile. Habibi, smile.
Well, I don't. Okay, but you think it has to do
if
with
someone
religion?
does something, if someone does something haram, if someone does something against Islamic law, it's like, bro, there's this huge attack against them. Hey, I don't know if it's Daesh coming after me or what.
Really? Can I ask you a question? You've got Ahmed. Have you gone to those? Well, both of you. Well, I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna ask Kel this question. Have you ever gone to those camps for Hassan? What is it called? Like the camp?
I've been to one.
I've heard of it.
Okay, so you've been to one.
NYC, yeah.
Okay, are these like? So, are these like allegedly angry people? Do they go to these?
No. All right, we're talking about two different things. Okay.
Okay.
Those people are too good for those camps. By the way.
Oh.
I swear, we've heard people be like, "No, I'll never go to those camps."
It's like 15, 20 people, by the way. What we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Not talking about
it's bigger. It's this group of people in Dearborn.
It's funny. I actually have somebody in mind. I'm gonna tell you the name after. I'm almost sorry. I'm gonna guess it. I'm almost sorry. I'm gonna guess it.
Dearborn is filled with these people. These people that just walk around and literally like they preach like they're so religious and they lack such basic morals of smiling, saying please, saying thank you, not paying. It's just in general everything.
Tell me how you really feel, bro. You've been actually personally attacked by some of these people.
Think about it, Harajly. Think about it. Think about it. No, because I'm always talking about it.
Yeah.
What makes them like? Why are they so angry all the time? You said it's like a fashion thing, right?
Listen, because you got to look at the root of it. Why are they using this? For example, a specific individual, young man, why is he portraying himself as a Muslim or as a religious figure? Because I'm telling you, the driver is that people always want to be better than others. You know, some people want to be better.
Pride and religion mixed together.
Pride and religion mixed together. And by the way, it has nothing to do with religion. They simply...
they take religion and then...
Yeah, it's like, look, I'm not the best athlete. I'm not the best looking. I'm not whatever every young man wants, right? Yeah. And they say, you know what? But I noticed something they all lack is religion. So I'm going to pick that up. And then I'm gonna use it as a fashion.
Yeah, but do you think that their intention all along was so this person, right? Whoever it is you're describing, or whoever
it's not one, it's a lot of people.
All right, let's just say
it's actually a Western issue. This happens a lot in the West.
Let's just say these classes, this class of people. Do you think that so you think that they decided to pick up religion because they weren't good at anything else?
No, it's not true.
I mean, that's how Ahmed's making it seem like.
No,
Ahmed just said that, hey, I can't do this, I can't do this. So you know what? I noticed that these people are not religious, therefore I'm going to become religious.
There
and
are people
shit on everybody.
No, but there are people that are like that.
No, I'm saying like, do you think that their intention from like?
Well, I would have never known until, do you know how I know that?
Huh.
Until you sit down to have an Islamic conversation, and all of a sudden it's anger and shouting.
Really?
All of a sudden, it's like I know.
Like that?
Yeah,
oh my God!
By the way, religion. If we sit and talk about religion, we'll laugh all day.
I know.
We enjoy. We laugh.
It's supposed to be a nice conversation.
It's a beautiful conversation. We talk about life after death.
Yeah, you got a lot of people that are just contradicting. Like,
and it's like they get angry. Habibi, I know more than you. I know this.
I'm more religious than you.
I already know this. If you tell them a story.
Let
me explain something.
It's ridiculous.
That's how you discover the true roots of it. Because look, if you come to me, listen, I follow like I said, the Jafari school of thought. I have absolute respect to the Hanafi school of thought, to the Shafi'i. These are all Sunni.
Yeah.
Habibi, people don't know this. Imam Jafar al-Sadiq alayhi salam was actually a teacher of Malik ibn Anas, who Ahmad, who actually the Hanafis learned from. Imam al-Shafi'i learned from members of Ahlul Bayt. Like, they were all connected. It's just a school of thought. It's like if you go to MSU and you go to Michigan and you both learn specific science experiments,
it's going to be
someone in Michigan is going to do a different form of experiment, different preparations. This is all what this is.
Yeah, but the lesson is the same at the end of the day.
At the end of the day,
Right.
So, like, okay, and again, like, I've sat with people from the Hanafi school of thought and the Jafri school of thought, and I enjoyed dialect with both of them, but sometimes I always notice on each side, no matter which way you lean, they always try to drag you in. They say, "Oh, you're right. We should unite. But they just comes kind of some way try to.
And this happens on both sides.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, oh, I know. I'm all aware.
And I'm looking at them, Habibi, نحن Muslimin. We are all on one path. And this whole idea of Shia Sunnah, it has nothing to even do with. I mean, it's insane when you study the foundation of school of thought and then you come down to these arguments.
But you know what, man? Honestly, what I noticed is a lot of the Shia Sunnah stuff. I feel like that's just a Dearborn thing, man.
It's online.
A lot of foreigners
said
said it's not that serious overseas.
Yeah, it's not.
Over here, it's more.
It's very serious.
You know, again, what does it come down? But here, what does it come down to? Everyone wants to prove they're on the right side. No, I'm right, you're wrong. Oh no, he's not doing this. Habibi, calm down. We need to start respecting each other's practices.
Take a religion out of it. People don't respect each other in Dearborn.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
You don't.
Look, religion should be fun.
And then you get people from Dearborn, and then you mix in religion, and it's a mess.
No, but religion should be a fun topic. We should enjoy it. We should laugh about it. We should be open and say, look, I got fasts to make up. You know, Allah, when I was younger, I wasn't disciplined. This is this. Allah. I'm a good guy.
When I went to those retreats, I went to 2 of them, and they were the best 3 or 4 days I've ever had on vacation.
You know, I've ever been on one.
They're amazing. You get away. It's all about good intentions and bettering yourself. It's a great. Then you got people look at it and be like, "Are you against those retreats?"
No. A lot of people go also, young men and women. It's a halal way of trying to
meeting somebody. Yeah.
If you go for that intention, it's the wrong
nice
intention.
towel, we used to refer to them.
You said what? What'd you call it?
No,
nothing. No, we're not going to refer to that. We're not going to that.
Hold on, wait. I want to go back. What the hell did you just say?
We're not.
What did he say?
Cal can explain this one.
No, what did he say?
I'm not explaining this one.
No, Ahmed, you explain it. What the hell did he say?
Okay, look. There was a code name for
we're not doing it.
I want to hear it.
A very, very good potential wife.
Okay.
We used the code name growing up. It was a towel.
That's fudged up.
No, is it?
It is.
I mean, but it's our.
Well, okay. Let me ask you something. Okay.
I didn't make this up.
I know you did. I'm not accusing you of it. I'm saying this. Okay. Was the name because it refers to the hijab?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's.
Wow.
But
it was amongst us. I mean, whatever.
Listen.
Yeah.
He was one of the founders of that.
I was not one of the founders. No, it's in general. I'm gonna get killed for this. No, so it goes back.
No, I'm sorry, Kel, but I'm really curious. Where the hell does towel?
I didn't create it.
Not you.
Say the name. They're probably
in general. No. I'm curious. Where does towel?
Okay,
and good halal woman.
Name. It was just a code name. I guess.
I know,
didn't make it.
I didn't listen.
No. But again, just hear me out for a minute. If somebody told me, "Hey, there's a badass towel," I'm not gonna treat that as if like, oh, you know, this is like a nice woman looking for marriage.
By the way,
no, not towel.
No, not towel. Just the word towel.
It came from a towel. I think these guys were at like they were shopping at Bed Bath & Beyond. Something reverted back to being clean.
Okay, so it was a bunch of guys at Bed Bath & Beyond. There's already a problem. What else happened?
I wasn't there to make it. I was a part. I wasn't a part of it, but I was in the time they.
Here we go. Read this. We'll talk about it after. Look what Zayd said.
So
oh wow.
Listen. So so everything against the West. So are you gonna send your kids to the private school or public school?
So we're going on about that. Oh, okay. No, private school. I won't take my kids to public school.
1000%.
Islamic private school or general private school?
I mean, absolutely
or
Islamic private school, but I mean, also that has its own issues. You got everyone trying to make their own business. You know, it would be beautiful if we all had one Islamic school, but
it's tough.
You rolled your eyes because it's never happened.
100% you're not putting in public.
It's not gonna work, Ahmad. It wouldn't work. You need.
Yeah, I think we need a topic of discussion on that.
Not even just that. You need honestly, you need competition. And if you have just one school of thought and it's flawed, what are you gonna do?
You can't. Yeah.
So why won't you put in public school?
I won't put in public schools. Listen, because there's what we see. This whole woke cancel culture today. Look, we see the movement of the LGBTQ. And whatever letters have been added that I'm not up to date with, look, they're just shoving this in our faces. They're just everywhere you go. If you go on YouTube, you see commercials, and it's just this openness, this acceptance. And my kids are not going to accept that. My kids are not. Listen, I can't force that on them. I will teach them how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden that act. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not even accept of this in a society. Okay? And by the way, it's them that's portraying this in our face. Look, if someone does what they do behind closed doors, how's it my business? But when you want to come to me and say, hey, you must accept me for how I am, however they talk.
Would you ever in public say something?
Absolutely. Just how they come to me and say and express themselves, I should express myself and say, look, I'm the resistance against this and this should stop.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you do with the fact that the majority of society now deems the person that's against it the enemy?
That's fine. Because, again, it all refers to, again, who's the main pusher of this is our federal government. Our listen, again, how the government can push whatever it wants. If people are declining
Florida
with
just
God
banned zero K through 3.
I don't know what they're doing in all over. Every state does its own thing. But look, eventually even those red states are going to fall to this. Believe it or not. Because it comes down to one thing. The way I look at it is you got to look at the God consciousness of a society. God consciousness refers to one thing. Worshipping God's command. Following God's command. That's what worship is. You can claim you believe in God and all this, all you want, but if you don't take a specific law, book of laws of God, and you follow it, then you're not in worship. And I noticed this. Churches are empty. Yeah. Even, alhamdulillah, in Dearborn, trust me, I've lived outside of Dearborn. We are better off than others outside. In the terms of God consciousness, we still have gatherings where we talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we actually focus on what's to come after this life.
So where do you, so would you go out of your way to do something because I'm all about just let everyone do what they want and not even that. It's like if they're in public, I'm not going to go out of my way to purposely tell someone you're the devil.
Yeah, so Ahmed, I think what Kel's trying to ask is, are you the kind of person that would willfully advocate against it? Or
you'll just mind your own business.
Right. So
when it's silent, when it's a silent movement, I'm silent. Right. But when it becomes very vocal, I'm not just going to sit there in the crowd and just be like, I'm going to say, excuse me, sir, I'm actually against it. Oh, why? Because we were mentioned parables in our religious books.
Right.
That mentioned the wickedness of this act. Yeah. But by the way, God alone also forbid even heterosexual unlawful actions. For example, وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا فَهِيَ
Right.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, do not even go near fornication. So even me who has a desire for an opposite gender, I avoid. Why? Because I'm following God's means. Listen, you're not, I'm going to use that word, you're not gay unless you act upon it. There are people
I've actually heard that argument before.
Yeah, and look, but just think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to judge you because, look, I was born this way. This whole nonsense after Lady Gaga made up that song, Born This Way. Look, I don't know if you know if it was her, but the point is, if someone has this issue where, you know what, I look at a young man such as Amino and I say, Allah, but I'm in control. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and this is very important for you guys, for everyone to know this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said when Nabi Dawood was given prophethood and kingdomship, it was on the people of Bani Israel.
Right.
And he gave them advice. And the first advice says, وَلَا تُطِعْ هَوَاهُكْ فَيُدِلُّكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Meaning, do not follow your desires. Do not obey your desires. They will deviate you from my path. Another verse in the Quran, it says, أَفَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِينَ اتَّخَذُوا إِلَهُهُ هَوَاهُ. Have you not seen those who have taken their desires as their gods? Right? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mean by this? He means that you've taken every bit of what you desire, whether it's through food, through sexuality, through through your ego, through your pride, and you've just fulfilled that desire constantly. Allah says these people have taken that as their God before me. Another one that says, وَاتَّبَعُوا هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرَطًا. And they have followed their desires and their life is in shambles. If you notice these people that are like this, following desires, even if it's heterosexual actions,
Right.
Guys,
it's a desire nonetheless.
It's just all, and their life is in shambles. They have no structure. They're all over the place.
Man, I was gonna have so much questions off that. Go off. Remember we were mentioning the sticker gate?
Yeah.
Desensitizing.
Oh.
Stickergate.
I made a good point, right?
Stickergate. So if you don't, was great. One time
I did a good job handling it.
So
I'm not saying you didn't.
We're in a group chat, and
you're the good guy.
Ahmad Harajly is an admin, and some people were sending inappropriate stickers. I'm pretty sure people on Dear will know what it is, and you completely kicked everyone out.
Not at first. I warned.
You warned.
I said, guys, look, I'm in control of this group chat. We got about 30 guys. I said, look, as long as I'm in control, guys, we shouldn't be doing these.
So
things.
I do have to commend you for
handling that situation.
No, not even that. For allowing me to send the COVID safety video. It was
So why
Hey, what's funny? No, here's what's funny. Here's what's funny. This is the best part about it. He knew it wasn't gonna be just a safety video because his response was, "All right, just send it." And he started he put the laughing emoji. This guy laughed so hard he almost broke my basement floors.
So why are you against the stickers?
Just
being as simple.
Even us men who are exposed to these explicit images. I always mention this story in Iran. Actually, there was a scholar and a professor, and the professor actually had to go to UK. He worked at Oxford, and when he went to Oxford, he had a fit. He actually enjoyed all these women dressing the way they do in the West. He grew up in Isfahan in Iran, and everyone's modest. There's scarves mandatory there, and after 10 years there, he became so desensitized. He could see a woman walking half naked in a bikini, and it's like whatever.
Okay.
So he went back to Iran and he told the scholars, like, look, man, you guys are teaching Islam to the woman to cover. Maybe if you let them uncover, guys will become desensitized. And the scholar stopped him. He said, that's not what Islam wants. Because there's actual link between men that are desensitized and not having that guardianship over their woman. You see a lot of guys that enjoy trophy wives. Yeah. Right? Have you guys seen those?
Yeah.
Guys that enjoy their wives to stick their behinds out and just look beautiful. I don't want to walk next to you and show everyone what I got. These people are desensitized. Look at these people, and I'm telling you, judge them off that. They're desensitized. When we're sensitive to a woman's physical nature, when we are married, you will safeguard that woman. She is something that you never would want another man even looking towards her. Sometimes even a guy looking to talk to her be like, hey, what are you looking at? And I'm not saying become extreme, but Islam wants that value. Because when we have that, it secures the marriage. It makes that muwaddatan wa rahman, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, it makes it more beautiful. So when these young guys are even being silly, even with the intention of being silly, when we're seeing these things, we're actually becoming more and more desensitized.
Don't you think there should be also a hijab for men? Not hijab
absolutely.
For men,
oh my God, I love
the
you.
guys that are wearing like they're basically naked at the beach.
Islam does commend for
listen. And then they go back and sit on their barbecue with a girl that wears like a abaya on. It's contradicting.
Remember, we grew up. We used to go to the park. And
stuff.
I've never taken off my shirt.
I don't either.
Ever again, because I realized there is a sense of integrity. Even when we pray, you should have something over your knees.
It's just contradicting and doing that.
And listen, men always push for this. It's a man's world. So women, you guys get disciplined and we're going to do what we want. Or there was this one show, man, you guys would know this. Not that you.
Yeah, what's the show?
It was a show about these Egyptian Muslims living in America and... Rami, that's what it was.
It's a good show.
It's a horrible show.
No.
Just hear me out. Just let me.
It's so realistic.
Hold on. Okay, you can't take the show as it is. You have to take the show for the message it's bringing.
And the message was bad.
No, it wasn't. Let me finish. Hey, before you come up with something, just let me speak. Okay? The point of the show was to show you the struggles and the issues that people deal with when it comes to mixing Islam and Western culture.
Okay.
That was the point.
And what won in the end, according to that show?
Western
culture completely destroyed.
And you're making it seem like it hasn't happened yet.
Ahmed, I understand, but by me saying
they showcase the struggle. They're like, look what's happening. Okay.
That was the point of it, and that's why it's good.
What killed me is like there was this one scene. So I had a coworker. He kept telling me about it. You should watch it. I was like, bro, first I don't watch these things, but I said for the sake of it, I'm gonna watch like certain clips of it.
Oh, that's the worst thing you can do.
No. But hold on. And he showed me this clip, and he was laughing about it and having a joke. And apparently the guy. The girl, her sister, was having
his sister?
Yeah, his sister was doing something haram or, and fornication, and her uncles went off on her. They're going to kill her. And then her brother walks by, and he takes, he's like, I'm going out on a date with this girl.
No, I remember
and they're,
like,
episode. Applauding him or something. And, yalla, go.
No, she came home late, and then they're snapping at her, and then he picks up his things. I'll be back at 3 in the morning.
Yeah. But then I'm looking at this, I'm like, wow, man, this is...
But how relatable is it?
It's on point.
It's on point.
But we shouldn't see that.
I'm not saying whether you should. That's not the question. What I'm saying is it's giving you the exact situations.
Okay, I see. What you,
I'm not saying every household.
I know what you mean.
But that's what it's doing.
Did you guys see TLC's American Muslim during Ramadan?
No,
the most undisciplined Muslims I've ever seen in my life.
You're talking about I know what you're talking about. What's it called? Yeah, the one that came in Dearborn. It was called. What was it?
No, they were nice families.
Nice families. Wahad he's American. Yeah, I had to break my fast. It was very hard for me today. Habibi, show Muslimin in America that are disciplined, that have morals and values. روح بيجيبوا لي واحد بالشارع عامل لي half Muslim. They probably wasn't Muslim. Hey, do you want to act like you're a Muslim today and act like you're very undisciplined?
It's funny because you're raging right now, but you're coming off. You're contradicting what you were saying earlier.
What was I saying?
Judging people.
Look at he got you there.
Look, that isn't a judgment because it was on the show. The guy was. What I'm saying is the guy was on the show, American Muslim, when we were younger. I was excited to watch
called?
All American Muslim?
All American Muslim. That's what it was called. I never watched it. I even know. I have no
young.
idea.
I was excited.
I remember it was a show that came to Dearborn.
Wow, we're gonna see Muslimin. Then the world's gonna say, "Wow, what a beautiful religion." They put a guy. He broke his fast every time he was on the other thing. Oh, it's too hard today, So I had to have my cheeseburger.
So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're back with Ahmed, master's degree at YouTube. Harajly. I'm joking.
Thanks for the credentials.
No, it's
there's gonna be
better than the CNN Cartoon News Network. I'll tell you that.
The cartoon.
That's all it is.
This is.
Do you think anyone that listens and
this is a fun conversation? No, what's crazy is honestly in America, you have to understand something. I can't blame some people, especially Americans, for the views that they have when it comes to certain topics because their main source of information is from
CNN. CNN is known to be a bunch of clowns, aren't they?
But you have to understand, just like where you're used to getting your news from your entire life, that's where they're used to getting their news from their entire life, from their parents to their parents to them. Like how it is.
Yeah. And again, it's harder to convince someone they were lied to than to just simply lie to them.
100%.
It's easy for me to lie to you, but then for someone to come to you and say, "Hey, Cal, by the way, you were lied to by Ahmed," that's harder. Now your pride sets in and defends it. So, no way.
Yeah, because you were so
there was a famous philosopher. His name was, I'm sure you've heard of this guy. His name is Voltaire.
No, I never.
Okay, so
really?
No, it's true, and you can look this up. It's like looking things up. He said, "Those who make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities."
Oh,
and it's very and the media in this country is mainly responsible for a lot of the atrocities that occur in this country.
I think they created ISIS.
Oh,
Confessions of a British Spy. It's a good book to read.
We're not getting into that.
No, we shouldn't. They created the idea of Wahhabism.
Oh, we have a fan.
Go ahead, sir.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
We're going to get into the Russia topic, just not now.
No. This guy's itching to talk about ISIS. Let's talk about a little bit about
ISIS,
Dearborn.
Russia. He's talking about ISIS
Russia,
too?
I'm sorry. Russia. So,
by the way, is that still a thing now?
What?
ISIS?
Oh, yeah. They're actually in Ukraine.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like seriously though.
Oh, I'm not even playing. The Americans were sending them over to Western Ukraine.
Now, so were they really Chechenian fighters at the time?
Chechens, you got to understand, they had a civil war that actually took place in the early 2000s with the Russian government.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for Ahmed Khedrov, who was the leader and president of the Chechens that helped stabilize the region, Chechnya would have been in turmoils. And those Chechens that were against the formal government in Chechnya, that's in cahoots, that works with Russia, they actually ended up going and joining ISIS.
Very interesting.
Yeah, they're very fierce fighters.
Was it true that a lot of Americans actually left America to go join ISIS?
Yeah.
Was this actually confirmed?
Well, I don't know if a lot of Americans, but
were there actual
UK,
Americans?
In France, and they knew about it, and they let them go. And then when they came back, it was a problem now. Habibi, you let them go. Habibi.
Interesting.
The way we do things.
So listen, revert back to Dearborn. So so I noticed that you are not into like this is one thing I like about you. So not taking shade at Harajly, but like
let's hear it.
About the like materialistic people in Dearborn.
He's pretty. What do you mean? What do you mean that he's not into it?
He's like complete opposite. I think everything he does in his life is.
Again, I'm not pushing it on anybody, but me personally, I'm not the materialistic guy.
Let me ask you a question.
Do you judge people that do that drive?
I don't judge, but sometimes I question.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think if somebody owns something expensive, it automatically deems them materialistic?
If you own a Rolex,
yeah. Sure. Here it is. It's
taking you're a horrible man.
Oh, wow.
But you're fine. You don't own one.
Sure.
I'm just kidding.
So,
I know that from last time we talked.
Yeah.
No.
Because
listen, the way
and by the way, so we have had this conversation many times. So I am curious. Do you believe if somebody owns something that is particularly expensive, does that make them materialistic?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so what's your definition of somebody that's materialistic?
Materialistic is you would only honestly it's more of like a personal thing you need to figure out. Like you could only know if you're materialistic.
No, I know. But you said I am not a fan of materialism. I'm not materialistic. So what's your definition of materialism for you to say what's materialistic?
Being attracted to the basically the status quo, the most beautiful thing. You know, having the things that everyone wants.
Okay.
I literally heard people say, "I will not wear anything that's not name brand."
Yeah, that's different. No, I'm talking about so like what like, and this is obviously like my hope. I would hope that your opinion of materialism wouldn't be defined by somebody that just buys something expensive.
Not only that, materialism in itself. My definition of what someone being materialistic is also someone that just runs after money.
Honestly,
it's not just simply. Honestly, no, but to me, I'll put it in one pot. It's all one pot.
Really? Yeah. But I think honestly, I think it's a flaw to do that.
No, I think
it's a flaw to do that, Ahmed, because somebody that's hustling to make money and to make a living is not materialistic.
What's his intention? If he's spending it on huge, extravagant things all the time, Habibi,
I think it's more of an obsession than
again,
prove it to yourself that you can do it.
Right. No, not even just that. Okay, like here's the thing. The way I look, and again, I'm not saying my opinion prevails over yours. I'm saying like my definition of materialism is somebody that lives to, I guess,
impress other people.
That's the best way to
with what they're wearing and what they're doing.
So you would know that. So if you have a Rolex, you know why you're wearing it.
Correct.
Do you personally just enjoy wearing it, or do you enjoy having someone see you wear it?
No. So I'm gonna straight up say. So the way I do it, I always talk. I can't judge. Here's the thing, and I tell my so I have a group of friends that are gonna watch this. So whenever I tell them I bought something or they shred. What, are you crazy? Why? Give me your money. Let me show you what's supposed to be done. And so this guy looking for the senora right now.
Oh God.
And so here's what I do, okay? And I tell my friends this all the time. Here's my explanation, all right? So for those that don't know me, I work a lot of heavy hours. Like, you know this, because I run my own firm. It's a lot, okay?
Yeah, it is.
So every couple months, like, alhamdulillah, like if I have a good month, that's like the way of rewarding myself. I'll go buy myself like a new suit or like a new watch, something like that. So like I ended up buying that motorcycle.
But you'll have kids and they'll spend it on them. Man.
Exactly. And so that's my way of doing it. But it's like I'm not the kind of person. But I also know people that literally work, take that paycheck, and just go spend it, and they have no value.
Yeah,
for
you
it.
got these kids
that
parents. Make sure you pay your zakat.
Yeah, 100%.
Which, according to
absolutely.
The Prophet's
correct.
Laws is 2.5%.
Yeah,
but the more you give, even better.
So
100%.
You got these guys.
That's a good thing.
You got these clowns that literally like work 90, 80 hours a week. It's more than the younger crowd. They'll work so much hours and spend they have no savings and they spend all their money on scat packs and
bro. I literally knew somebody that was working. I'm talking hours you couldn't imagine, just to pay off the lease. What a loser. They were. I felt bad. Like
Habibi Rashid G6. I'm.
Yeah, this guy drives. Like I don't understand these people that literally just like they buy like the most expensive things just to impress someone that doesn't give a shit. And you impress someone that's gonna literally shit talk.
Sometimes it's not even that. It's sometimes people also are driven to materialism, beautiful things, because they feel accomplished. It's a way, like, okay, for example, like he said,
that's how I
work. For me to feel like my work is actually like, I'm not speaking on your behalf.
No, I'm gonna mix it up. No.
It's
not.
Let me sit here and I'll say it.
No, just hear me out. No, let me repeat. It's not for a sense of accomplishment. It's my reward to myself. Yeah, I want to reward myself. You know, this month I busted my ass off. I've always wanted this, for example, this Rolex or this suit that I saw. I didn't have the financial means before to afford it. This time I want to be able to get it for myself. It's more of a reward for me. It's not something that I'm not buying it, you know, to impress, you know, like my next door neighbor.
No.
Hey, you know, look what I got this week. You know what I'm saying?
If you got it, you got it. The issue is like the intention. Like when you walk out, you don't think you're better than people because you have
absolutely not.
You got people that'll literally look at you and be like, bro, I swear to God, you know what I see all the time?
Yeah.
You see the Instagram stories, right? The guys lean back, they get a photo with their watch.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Okay. How often? And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. How often do you see me wearing a Rolex watch?
I've never seen.
I didn't know you had one.
You've never seen me wear one. You never knew I had one.
Yeah.
I bought the watch. I've worn it maybe 3-4 times. I bought the watch as a personal gift to myself. That's how I look at it. If I want to flaunt it, I'd be posing like this in every picture. Listen, every picture I'd be like this. Like I'd be shaking head. I get it. There is a difference. There is a difference between people that literally to them it's like sort of a means of a reward versus people that buy things. But I know people that literally take out loans to buy stuff just to impress other people. Stuff they don't even want.
That's a disease.
Seriously. Things they don't want. I know people that things they don't want, things they have no desire for, but they know that somebody else has a desire for.
Let me just mention this. Give my thought on it.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed.
Real quick, they said Gucci and these brands cater to the poor, not the rich. For the poor to look rich.
Absolutely. Have you seen how Mark Zuckerberg dresses?
Yeah, these
guys don't give a shit.
I mean, there's a kid that had millions of dollars, a high school kid, in Bitcoin. He went to his closet, he had 3 pairs of white T-shirts.
Yeah, I believe it.
3 of the same shoes, 3 of the same socks, 3 of the same shorts, 3 of the same T-shirt. Went to school every day. He said, why? He says, because I don't care. I got everything. I got the money. Well, why? Why do I want to put myself out there?
Like I said, like the way, like I'm not against people that have nice things. Inshallah, one day I'll have like everything I want. Right. The people that just don't have it and then they spend all their money and like I'm more impressed on people that have.
The issue.
That is a real issue.
That's the issue. No, that is
it's a thing to fit in.
So look, there's a book I read. It's called Collector of Felicities. It was written by Islamic scholar Mullah Muhammad Mahdi al-Naraki, and in it he mentions the most simple answer, basically what religion is. And he explains, basically, he answers a question when people say, oh, if I sin once, this is all related to materialism. Right. But he says, if I sin once, is that going to send me to hellfire? But then he mentions something called your, I can't remember what it was called. It was also Arabic parts in it. Okay, but look, he mentions, a purpose of life is to attain the qualities of God's names. So God has 99 names, the giver, the merciful.
Yes.
The,
and so forth.
And so forth.
Yeah.
99 names. And our job is to take their time in this dunya, in this world, is to attain these qualities. And how you do it is like this. He says first time you give to someone, it's like you etching in the stone, just one hit, right?
Yeah.
And after you do it 1,000 times, you finally spelled out the letter G. But you want a complete giver. You're the giver, right? So every time you do it, now it becomes into your conscious. Now you're just doing it second-handedly. Now, why I'm mentioning this is that he mentioned people, for example, that like to reward themselves. People have that sense of accomplishment. You know, they work hard, they make their money. It's time to accomplish myself. He says, work, take what Allah has given you, take care of yourself. Save money in the bank, do what you got to do. But then he says, start building that nature where now you want to reward others for what Allah has given you.
Right.
Now, I'm not in any way telling you that what you're doing is
wrong. I know you're not.
What I'm saying is that's actually like an opportunity for you to even spell out an entire letter with 2 X.
No, I get what you're saying.
Allah Razak.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
What is it? Allah, everyone has their own sustenance that Allah sends in measurements.
Yeah, 100%.
So we want to take advantage of that. And that's just the first thing I thought of. And I'm not giving you a lesson.
No,
it's just reminded me of that.
Just live within your means.
Live within your
100%.
100%.
No, of course. No, you notice, bro. Like obviously, we're all younger.
But this is just a message for you. Someone's listening.
No, yeah, like
don't be like Harajly. No,
listen,
no, it's nice to see. Honestly,
here's
it's a good conversation. By the way,
it's a great conversation. The only thing I want to get across is you can still do your duties while splurging.
And by the way, Islam, why does it ask for 2.5% only?
Exactly.
It says, Harajly, you made $100. Give $2.50.
Exactly.
Allah, what you give extra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is
exactly. 150%.
But here's to complete the test. Look how simple religion is. It's so easy. Some people fail to even give the $2.50 out of every 100.
I know.
Habibi, give the 2.5. And what you give extra, Allah says, I will increase it. And he uses parables to mention like 100%. The wheat and the 72
That's
stems.
the most beautiful thing about Islam is you have to donate your money to charity.
2.5%.
2.5%.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
But by the way, it's not only related to money, it's also every blessing.
Right.
You know, Allah, for example, gave you eyes. He says, take 2.5% of everything you look at in a day, do it for my cause. Take your ears, for example, that you listen, 2.5% of everything you listen to in a day, give it to someone who needs it, who needs the ear.
Right.
Yani, give everything. By the way, there was a story in the Surah Al-Kahf of Dhul Qarnayn. He was a king of a rightful king. Okay. And the most amazing verse in the Quran. I mean, a lot of amazing ones. But when the people came up to him and asked him to build a barrier, they said, we'll pay you. You know what he responded to them and told them? He says, مَا مَكَّنِّي رَبِّي فِيهِ خَيْرٌ. Meaning what Allah has given me already till this day is more than the money you've given me. Let me use what God has blessed me with to build this with you, but help me with your power.
Correct.
This is also a parable Allah explained to us. Sometimes someone might come to you and say, Hawili, look, I need your help. You know, you're a lawyer, you have skills. Help me. And then they might offer you, and you know that they're in a tough situation. Yeah. And you look, Allah gave you a beautiful daughter, a beautiful wife, and a beautiful, alhamdulillah, everything you need. No. What Allah has blessed me with is more than you want. Put your money away.
Yeah, 100%.
But work 100%. With me. Don't just sit back and watch me.
100%.
This is the Quran's parable to people. Nobody follows that. Because no one wants to even dive into the Quran to understand that it explains everything in life. And we should, and people should engage in these conversations.
No, yeah, 100%.
Without fighting.
No, because like, you know what I like is like the area we grew up in didn't have money. We were like middle to lower class.
We were middle to lower class. Yeah, after 08,
I love seeing guys that we grew up with succeed. You know, obviously people hate on it. I love it.
Yeah. I love succeed in like
anything in general.
Spiritually, financially.
Well-being, health-wise. Successful.
Well, there's successful.
It's just
successful. Using the Western term of success.
Listen, let me tell you something.
That's a good point.
Struggle is beautiful.
What do you mean it builds you?
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's the resistance that we need.
Right, 100%.
By the way, the worst thing I'll do tomorrow to my kid is tell him I give my kid everything.
100%.
حبيبي my son بده يفلح الأرض.
Listen, man.
بده يحفر الأرض أنا شاء الله أنا مربي أنا مربي شو أنا مربي شو.
Listen, man, he's gonna become a chess.
هلا when I go home.
He's gonna become a chess protege.
Oh, they're all
That's the first step.
No, you never know who's watching this, but
Assalamu alaikum.
First step is getting to beat Wally before age 7.
You know, that's the plan. Chess is definitely on the chess is the first board game he's learning.
Requirement. It's the only game.
You know, I heard a quote before. Is like sometimes God will curse people with money. Not curse.
100%. المال والبنون زينة الحياة الدنيا. This is in the Quran. Money and wealth is زينة الحياة. It's like the luxury of the world that can take you from God
Easily.
100%. This is in the Quran.
100%.
It's telling you. So it's like we're all attracted to money, even to children. Trust me, it's the most beautiful thing. Once you have kids, inshallah, you'll realize. But then God always says, come back to me. Focus on me. So work. Raise your kids for God's cause.
But don't forget your roots.
Don't forget your roots. Work, make money, reward yourself, help people in need, but don't forget my cause.
Right.
It's that simple. Wallah, sometimes I look at these Islamic figures and I really question how they just talk. It's like a broken record to these kids. And one of the kids don't know nothing. They just, I'm religious today because I listened to a story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Beautiful. How do you apply it to today? Oh, I don't know. I did cry though. I mean, what does that mean? That story is supposed to help us reach out and say, hey, no, that's the Yazid of our time. That is the Hussein of our time. That man's being oppressed. No, let's stand with the oppressed. Yeah. You know, they all say, we wish we were with Hussein. We wish we were with Hussein. حبيبي تفضل روح اليمنية عم يموتوا. People هلا in Russia ما هلا بس إنه people you see injustice and we're all silent to it. But when Ashura comes نازلين خبيط نحن براسنا نحن. So my bedtime.
Yalla.
No, so yeah.
هلا على البيت.
I really like what you just said. You were like, you're like the Western phrase for successful is
money. Yeah, it's always money. My definition of success.
Yeah, what is your definition?
My definition of success, I swear to you, is someone who has absolute God conscious.
That's someone to you.
That he's successful. He's successful. Why? Because the real reward is in the akhirah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always mentions in the Quran that the afterlife is the true reward. Do you know what the most beautiful thing, by the way, in the Quran? One of the most amazing verses, and I'm not saying Arabic for the sake of respect to the Quran, and I'm also translating, is that when we die and we come back to life. Okay? And by the way, this whole talk of a hadith of where we die and you're going to be in, there's a state of barzakh, right? Yeah. Which is a barrier between this world and the next world. Okay? But now we have a hadith that extends it and says, you'll be in, some people will be in there for 80 years waiting in a room, and all these hadith that comes left and right. By the way, there are good hadith that work with the Quran. If it doesn't match the Quran, reject. But the Quran says this. It says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask those on the day of judgment, right? كَمْ لَبِثْتُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ عَدَدًا سِنِينَ. How much have you tarried in this earth? How long have you been buried? You know, people will respond in the Quran and say, لَبِثْنَا يَوْمًا أَوْ بَعْدَ يَوْمٍ. We were tarried for a day, maybe part of a day. Another verse, it says, وَيُقْسِمُ الْمُجْرِمُونَ أَنْ لَبِثُوا إِلَّا سَاعَةً. And the people who were, you could say, arrogant to Allah's cause, people who didn't believe in God, they're going to awaken from their graves when Allah brings the dead back to life, and they're going to swear that they were in the grave for an hour. All right?
Yeah.
Now, why am I mentioning all this? Now, when the day of judgment happens, according to the Quran, and why I'm mentioning this is the true reward. The reward is when this happens. The angels, and according to chapter 41, verse 30, is that the angels will ascend to the people. So when we're, inshallah, it's all of us, is that when we come back to life, right? And then you see the sky tear, and you see every event that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, and the angels will come down. And it says, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Inna alladhina qalu rabbuna Allah thumma istaqamu. It says, the people who have said in this world that God is our God, Allah is our God, right? Thumma istaqamu, meaning, and they followed His laws. They read His laws and they followed, and they stayed patient for it, right? Patient in what terms? They didn't chase this world. We weren't even interested in this world, right? They weren't interested in the materialism aspect of this world. Nothing. They just wanted Allah's pleasure. And then it says, تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, meaning the angels will ascend to you. So when we come out of our graves, we're going to be in a state of fear. We're going to be, oh, this is it. I'm screwed. And here comes the angels. تَتَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ, and the angels will tell you, أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّذِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. And they will say, don't be fearful of the past, of what's tomorrow, because fear is associated with what's to come.
Right.
And do not grieve over what you've done before. They say, rejoice, abshiru, and rejoice with the paradise that you were promised. So all of a sudden, these people will be in a state of absolute laughter and joy, according to the Quran. You're gonna be on cloud 9. And all of a sudden, all these people are gonna be in a state of shock. No angel came down to them, and they're walking in rows into this day of judgment. And they're going to be and they're going to look at someone like you and be like, this guy's a whack job. This guy's laughing. You don't see what's happening. Yeah. But Allah, the angels came down to you. This is success. When I see someone, someone who I know believes in one God, it doesn't have to be Allah, it doesn't have to be Islam itself. It could be the Bible. It could be the Jew. Someone who believes in a monotheistic figure, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
And a good set of morals.
And a good set of morals. And how? We follow God's ways. Because worship in the end is not kneeling. I can kneel to you.
Right,
you know?
right.
We've seen that Prophet Joseph, his 11 brothers and mom and dad, they kneeled to him. The angels kneeled to Adam. Yeah. Kneeling does not always signify worship. Worship is when you follow their laws. This is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, when you worship me, means you follow His laws. Because you can also worship your desires. How do you worship your desire? What, do you have a statue of yourself and you kneel? No. Worshiping your desires is obedience to your desires.
Right.
This is why Ramadan is here. Ramadan is coming. So we can control that. So Allah can return us. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, He concludes. When He says, we have written for you fasting as we've done the people before. So you can gain taqwa. Taqwa is God consciousness.
God consciousness, yeah.
So when we fast and we control our desires, you know, you can't eat, can't have sex, can't have,
right.
You can't do all backbite, can't do all these things that the tongue and the desire just wants, the whole body. We're in control. Allah says, now come to me in taqwa. So now we follow God. So that is success to me. That in itself, when I see someone on that path, and of course it's a sense of judgment, because I look at him, how the way he lives. You know, and then I say, inshallah, it's all of us, because a true Muslim, a true person who loves Allah, loves everyone else.
100%.
You don't. If I see you dwelling in, if I see materialism eating at you, and your desires are just shredding you, I actually feel bad for you. It's not that I hate you or despise you. So this goes back to the friends that we mentioned that are very angry if people aren't following Islam.
Yeah.
Habibi, if I see someone off of Islam, wallah, I feel bad. I yearn for them. Wallah, my heart yearns for them. I say, man, haram. I try to talk to them, but sometimes it's like one ear out the other. It's like you hear a whistle. It's like wind blowing through the ears.
Some people are just so far gone.
That's fine. You know, I have family members like that.
Yeah.
You know, I do. And I talk and just from the beginning, you're not interested.
Yeah. I mean, some people just don't want to feel disrespectful.
That's success. I'm sorry for dragging it.
What is success to you?
Well, okay, so...
try to top that.
Huh? Well,
I'm just kidding.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, the way I have it, so, like, okay. So, like, the way I look at it is different, okay? So, I believe there's more than one type of success.
Okay, there we go.
So, Ahmed defined what I would
I have one way of
correct
success.
That's fine. So his way of success would be one of my many ways. So what he just defined to me, what he just said to me would be definitive success. That's how I would. Okay. So there's different forms of success, and I think when they're all tied together would be my definition of success. So for example, wealth, okay? I personally say all the time, rich is a state of mind. It's not a dollar value.
There you go.
Okay? It's a state of mind.
Yeah.
This is the truth, okay? The poorest person can be the happiest person in the world, and the wealthiest person can be the saddest person in the world. And you see this very often.
By the way, that's the majority.
This is majority, correct. Yeah. So I don't believe wealth defines success. I believe wealth defines ease. I believe comfort, yes. But success to me is somebody that has felt that they have found their true purpose, okay? And they've lived a good and a happy life while they met their definitive duties.
But justice is of value to you.
Absolutely.
It's like someone who screws families over, or, for example, a bank that makes all its money and screws people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just use that as an example.
Sure.
That's not success to you.
No, it's not.
Because you're
not.
screwing people and you're making money off of it.
No, that's different.
Okay.
That's different. Then
I know where you're coming from.
You know what? You get it. I mean, like, I can sit there. I can literally define it to the T, but
someone
it will take
who works
too long.
hard takes reward.
Right.
And it's
Just put it this way. It took Ahmed about 15 minutes to define what I believe definitive success is. So if I was sit there and define every single part of it, it's way too. Yeah, you can sit for hours. But I mean, you guys would understand what it means to really live a true and happy life.
Yeah.
And to really live with a purpose, because your purpose isn't in this world. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Good man. I like him.
No, seriously, bro. It's
I like him.
No, the way I look at it is, okay, when you're gone, people are gonna remember what you left behind, not who you were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you work in this world, so you're remembered for what you did, like what you left, like what was your purpose in this world. You know what I mean? And everyone I feel like should have to have a mission to find that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You get it. Like, you know, you understand what I'm saying.
By the way, Islam complements that.
Yeah.
It mentions that when in Surah Yasin, when Allah brings the dead back to life.
Yeah.
But He says, وَقَدَّمُوا وَآثَارُهُم. Allah says, قَدَّمُوا, meaning all your actions you've done. وَآثَارُهُم, you actually can still gain reward after you die.
Yeah.
Because if you leave behind, for example, a book,
right,
or you build something that helps people come closer to God, or even if your children.
That's the one I was going to get to.
If your child, your daughter, is
Exactly.
the person she is because you've always given her your wisdom and your knowledge.
Correct.
Whether she follows it or not.
It goes back to you.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards you.
Correct.
Rewards. And all of a sudden now you have 1,000. By the way, eventually, you're going to have 1,000 great, the whole lineage because of you and your wife.
Right, and that should have learned from
and whatever
that little,
you leave with one,
exactly,
it will continue on. It's like a candle that never fades.
Yeah, it will correlate 100%.
So that's, again, Islam is I wish everyone could understand it from that basis. People always want to understand it from a sectarian point of view.
It's not that, Ahmed. It's okay. It's people like to complicate something that is so simple. Really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That's what it is.
100%.
If you take
when
Islam to its
you
simplest
push
form,
people away.
If you take Islam to its simplest form, it is the easiest thing in the world. But the issue is when people tend to complicate things, you know.
By the way,
and I believe simplicity is brilliant. So you should keep it as simple as possible. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, that would be my I guess my evolved, morphed, like mushed definition of success.
No, yeah, it's a mixture of a bunch of things. Like every time I see someone that has a lot of money but then lives such a nasty life, it's so like it's such a waste.
It's not even just that. Here's the thing to me, okay? It's like, okay, so I know a lot of attorneys that make like a gajillion amounts of money. Like I'm not gonna even say a dollar value. It's a crazy amount of money.
Jeffrey Feiger?
Crazy amount of money.
He's still chasing ambulances?
And so and here's the thing though. It's like if your mission when you wake up in the morning is to go to work and try to make as much money as you can, as much money as you can, and then come home and whatever, let's say you made 50 grand in a day, right? You come home, let's just say you did. Let's say for shiggle. Whatever.
You know what I mean? My desires.
You know, like you settled a big case, right? You know, you got like 50K out of this. Yeah, you're going to feel good. But if that is your mission every single day to wake up and do that, then honestly, I feel bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's not fun. You know what I mean? Like you can take away every penny I've ever made in my life, okay? And as long as you leave me like my family and my friends, I'll be just fine. I wouldn't even be mad about it. You know what I mean? But you take away my friends and my family, and you give me every penny in the world,
not worth it.
I would be the most depressed human being literally on this earth.
Exactly. You spend your life developing and trying to get a family together and friends, and true happiness is when you get them together and or your friends or family and you're just having a good time
Friends are so
With
valuable.
them. Of
That
course.
there's a say that says "Kulli man tu'ashir kula kaman ant." Tell me who your friends are. I'll tell you who you are.
100%.
That's how much influence your friend has.
Absolutely.
And your friends influence more than money.
Or
More than
tell me who
anything.
you love, and I'll tell you who you are.
Who I love?
Your wife. Your wife's supposed to represent you, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well,
no, so it's like my mommy says this to me a lot when I was younger. She was like, Mustafa, listen. المصاري بيروح وبيجي. بتفيق معك بلاوي بتنام معك شيء. It's normal. حيجي وحيروح. She was like, the important people in your life, these are the people, you've met, the people, the relationships you've built. These are the things you cannot
By the way,
replace.
my moms went to school together.
Yeah, I know they did. They're good friends.
Yeah, my mom was a reckless spender. She said, not reckless, she said exactly like yours. Like, money's gonna come and go.
Yeah.
She buys
they're not stingy. They're not stingy. Again, Islam always pushes for a balance. Allah doesn't like those who are
cheap ass people.
No. Allah hates the stingy and the cheap.
Yeah.
And Allah hates those who are they spend right.
I like the people that are.
There's gotta be a balance. There's gotta
be reasonable.
Yeah. Listen. Like the way I look at it is like, you can't be cheap, but at the same time you can't be wasteful.
No,
you know what I'm saying? It has to be a balance, okay?
Some people are haram. I feel bad. Like people look at them as cheap, and they're like, no, they just don't got it. Like they have to be responsible with their money. They're not supposed to be reckless. Because when you put yourself in the wrong crowd, you spend more money.
Right, and not even just that. There's also a problem with like, here's why I don't like talking about when it comes to money, especially in this community. I feel like this community has an issue when it comes to wealth.
A curse.
No, they do. There's literal social classification based on wealth in this community, and it's disgusting.
Well, we see it when our city councilmen are all becoming city councilmen after they have deep pockets.
Yeah, it's like
it's not like someone
without deep pocket.
No, wallah, no one with deep pockets makes it. These guys are all chairmen and whatnot.
But okay, just like even that aside, okay,
just saying.
Like okay, I know a person, or I knew a person. Knew.
Cut him out. You cut him out.
No, I didn't cut him out.
Oh. You killed him.
No, this person passed away.
No.
Okay.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah. It's okay.
Edit it out.
Don't edit it out. It's normal. This is a normal conversation, okay? So this was a person that did not grow up financially stable, okay? Very, very, very financially unstable at home. However, they had a good family, okay? Okay. And so what I would see is, okay, and so this person had a family member that happened to be very well off, okay? And I would always notice this, and he would tell me this back then when this family member would come over, all they would say to this person was, "Hey, you don't have this new phone. Oh, hey, your shoes are this, your shoes are that." And like, they were young at the time, so they didn't realize, because they were like, their parents never taught them the idea that just some people are less fortunate than you. And instead of you just being an asshole about things, you kind of just got to keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
So no, seriously, and so they would go to this dude's house. It happens a lot, and they don't do it. And mind you, I'm not saying that this person that told them this is bad. They just don't know any better because they're too young. And this happens in our community where some people are like they're unconsciously judging others and putting them down
without
realizing it, and like they don't know what they're saying. Like, for example, you walk into somebody's house, you go to like, I don't know, you're going to like their bedroom or something to go grab something, or you're helping them do something, and you notice there's like a hole in the wall. And you make a comment like, "Dude, you're gonna fix your wall." You start laughing, but little do you realize, what if that person doesn't have money to fix that wall? People, this is a minor, like this is a microscopic issue of what's happening overall in our community.
The micro level.
Yeah. Everyone wants to make it seem like they got it.
Yeah.
Even when they don't, and then if they come out about it, they're just embarrassed. It's a failed circle.
Yeah. Well. The problem is, nihna as Arab in this community, and I see it a lot. We try to keep up with the status quo, and we will go broke to look rich.
For other people that are literally bashing you the second you turn around.
I know people that have literally gone nearly broke just to look the part, and it's really sad because nobody gives a shit.
I swear to God, a kid, 16-year-old kid looked at my glasses. They're Von Vorvados, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. He's like, "They're not Gucci," and he started laughing. I swear to God.
I believe it.
I swear. He looked at me. He's like, "They're not Gucci," and he walked away. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, "This guy's like."
No, I say God help you.
He's a kid though. He's like 16.
God help you.
You know what's funny? When I was younger,
gonna rub that G6 every time.
You know what's funny? And I'm telling you, I dealt with this when I was younger too. I went to so Maples, obviously. We all went to Maples Elementary School.
Chess club.
Yeah, chess club. So they had an Arabic school at the time. It was
I was there.
I was at the Arabic school, okay, and it was me and Nadim Yunus, right?
Absolutely, the backflip guy.
Yeah.
Is he still flipping off buildings?
No, I actually with him last night. He's not flipping off buildings anymore. He's a full time.
He settled down.
Yeah, he retired from parkour.
Ish would have been good at that.
Ish still does it, I think, even with his meniscus, bro. This guy still does it. Anyways, so I was in class with this kid, right? And I remember this is one of the first times I remembered experiencing like this kind of like issue when it comes to like, you know, like, hey, like I have this and you don't have this. I remember I was sitting in class and there was a kid that was sitting behind me. So me and Nadeem sat in a row and there was a kid sitting directly behind me. And he was like, hey, I remember like I had like a pair of shoes. I don't know what the hell they were. Like they were like ripped or something.
K-Swiss.
No, it wasn't K-Swiss.
Those are rocking back in those days.
Were sick. Like 6th grade, they're unreal.
Sure.
And so this kid was shredding me for my shoes. He's like, bro, what the hell are these pieces of shit you're wearing? Like, you know, like why do they got a hole in them? And I looked at it, I was like, bro, yeah, my shoe has a hole in it. I remember like, and this kid was shredding me. And you know how it is, but like kids are bullies. So all of their friends, I was like, I think a 4th grader.
And then everyone just
all their friends just jumped in, you know. And Nadeem's like, yo, like shut the fudge up, you know. And you know how Nadeem like was this guy's cussing. He was like 2 years old. This guy came out of his mom's, you know, like belly cussing. And so I get home, I start crying to my mom. I'm like, Mom, these kids are like making fun of me. Like I'm like crying like a little bitch, literally. Like it was bad. And so like my mom, I remember at the time, like she took me to Fairlane Mall and she bought me a pair of Nikes. Okay, and then she told me this story when I was like a senior in high school. She was like, do you remember that time when you came to me, you were crying, blah, blah. She was trying to teach me a lesson because I did something to my brother. We got in a fight or something. She was like, when you have your own kids, you'll understand. She was like, at that time, when I went and bought you those shoes, I had to borrow money from your aunt to go buy you those shoes just because I was heartbroken at the way you were crying. Yeah. And she was like, you're not going to understand that until... yeah, and she was like, you're not going to understand that until you have your own kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you'll understand.
And there it is. Oh, yeah, 100%. So, yeah, it's crazy.
These topics will be discussed throughout the other podcasts because we're going to start wrapping it up. Harajly, all in all, what message do you want to have to our viewers? What's the one thing? I mean, I really don't know what to tell the viewers other than increase your God consciousness. Let's put it that simple. All right, guys.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
Hey, just before we wrap up, a couple things. The merch just came in. We're going to be announcing sometime this weekend. We're going to be putting up a link or some sort of a post on our IG where you guys can purchase. You guys will make orders probably through our DMs, or you'll probably be able to contact us some way or probably through email. We'll be able to get you the sizes, the description of all the stuff. And just the last second thing, if you don't feel like getting in front of YouTube, we are on Spotify. We'll be posting it probably tomorrow. And further, we are trying to get on Apple Pods. We're working on it for you guys, but I promise you we'll be here soon.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We very greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that bell button, and if you guys didn't know, now you know him, Ahmad Harajly.
Look out for our team.